Namaste children, welcome back to another chapter, that is conservation of plants and animals, means protection of plants and animals. So this chapter it is giving a awareness among ourselves that wildlife are the living organisms present on this earth are in a very dangerous condition. We should protect them or else we are going to face a lot of consequences. So this particular chapter it is started with a biodiversity word. So what is meant by biodiversity? Because the biodiversity conference it is held in our Hyderabad some 10 years back. That time this conservation of plants and animals chapter is enlightened. So biodiversity means the number of living organisms or the variety of living organisms. The variety of living organisms is including plants, animals, and even microbes. Here even microorganisms are also included. So the variety of living organisms, that is your plants, animals, and microorganisms in an area are called biodiversity. So now this biodiversity are the living organisms in that area. For their survival, always and always they are depending on the abiotic factors present in that area. Abiotic factors like your air, water, soil, etc. So now the interaction of these biotic components with the abiotic components for their survival, it is called your ecosystem. Ecosystem means it is an interaction of biotic components with the abiotic factors present in an area. For the survival, it is called your ecosystem. So ecosystem, you are having different types of ecosystems. Starting from even a terrestrial ecosystem, if you will see. In the terrestrial ecosystem, you will see a desert area, tropical rainforest, mountain areas, aquatic ecosystem, like the different varieties of ecosystems that we will notice on the earth. So now all the variety of living organisms including plants, animals, and microbes present in an area, that is called your biodiversity. So this word biodiversity is even focusing that variety of living organisms within a same animal, we will see different varieties. Like if you are taking an insect like a mosquito, malaria is caused by female Anopheles mosquito. That is a type of mosquito. Another mosquito, Culex mosquito, is there. Like the different varieties of mosquitoes are there. Cows, hens. So variety of living organisms within a same type is also comes under biodiversity. Okay, so now such a biodiversity or the living organisms which are present in that area are always and always depending on the abiotic factors present in that area for their survival. This interaction we are calling it as an ecosystem. So now in an ecosystem, generally we will find two different types of living forms. One is your flora, second one is your fauna. So flora means the plants that are found in that area. All the different varieties of plants that are found in an area, that is called the flora of that area. When it comes to fauna, that is the animals present in that area, that is called your fauna. Like in case if you will see there, here it was clearly mentioned that Pachmari forest area, it is consisting a flora, that is plants like sal plant, teak, wild mango plant, ferns, like the different varieties of plants that are present in the Pachmari forest region. Whereas in the same area, if you will see the fauna, that is a wild dog, cheetah, wolf, leopard, blue bull, like the different varieties of animals are also present in that area. So the plants living in an area, that is called the flora, and the animals living in that area, that is called your fauna. So now this flora and fauna, they are the most important renewable natural resources. So you people have an idea, renewable natural resources means that can be replaced very fastly, recycled very fastly. So to any country, the flora and fauna present in their country are the most important renewable natural resources that must be protected properly. Means indirectly we are saying that the wildlife must be protected properly. If we are not protecting the wildlife in a proper manner, which completely alters the food chain. Why only food chain? It is completely changing the food web, so that we are facing a lot of consequences. Okay, this flora means the plants that are present in an area, and fauna means the animals present in that area. So now here if you will say what this picture it is indicating, can anybody guess and tell? This picture it is giving an idea to us that forest, the range of forest it is decreasing day by day, day by day, day by day, because of a small word that is called deforestation. D means destruction. So what we are destructing? We are destructing the forest. So we are saying it as a deforestation. Generally, when we will see the forest is a very good habitat of wildlife, and it is giving a lot of things to us. Not only to the wildlife, forest is the richest source to us to get so many things. So first let us see what are the different uses of forest, or even we can say forest wealth. It's very rich. Okay, first let us see the forest wealth, and let's see the causes of deforestation, and last consequences of deforestation. So now first of all let us see what is the forest wealth. So first and foremost one, whenever we will listen the word forest, immediately it comes to our brain that these are the habitat for wildlife. So many number of living organisms, like wild animals like lion, tiger, leopard, wolf, normal herbivore animals like your rabbits, deers, monkeys, any birds, in variety of insects, so many microorganisms, fungi, so many different variety of living organisms. Habitat is our forest. First one. The second one is now to us. Forest is an area which is maintaining the atmospheric temperature, regulating the atmospheric temperature. So how it's regulating the atmospheric temperature? By regulating the levels of oxygen and carbon dioxide. We know that forest means so many plants will be present. They're uptaking oxygen and they're uptaking carbon dioxide and they're releasing oxygen. And now the animals are taking oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide. So directly or indirectly, forests are the areas which are regulating the atmospheric temperatures by proper continuation of oxygen and carbon dioxide cycles to the in the atmosphere. Now after that, forests are the areas which are even helpful in the proper maintenance of water cycle, because forest so many plants are present, as many as plants that much rate of transpiration. So if the rate of transpiration is more, again it comes or it plays a vital role in the water cycle. So forest is an area where a proper water cycle is maintained, and it even maintains the water table, gives enough rains and try to maintain the water table and try to absorb the water into the underground one. And even forest an area where the soil erosion is prevented, it is decreased by holding the soil, fertile soil in their at their roots or stem level. The soil erosion is also prevented or reduced by the forest. Along with all these things, forest is an area which is even giving us a lot of commercial things like timber, yes, which we are using to construct the furniture, everything. and even where the latex will come, rubber will come, which are having a lot of commercial values. Some of the resins, gums, lac, turpentine. Yes, these all some of the things which are having a very good value in the market. Such products that are extracted from the plants of the forest, along with that, so many number of cosmetic items are also obtained from the forest plants. Even along with that, if you will see, so many n number of medicinal plants are also growing in the forest areas. So forest is a richest source of so many things, which is directly or indirectly maintaining the water cycle, decreasing the soil erosion, regulating the temperature, giving a fresh air to us, a pure water to us, giving a habitat to wildlife. Other than this, it's a good source of timber, latex, gums, cosmetic products, medicinal plants. So many uses are there from the forest. So much of use is there from the forest, but unfortunately what we are doing, we are cutting the forest and doing deforestation. So due to deforestation, that is destruction of the forest, so why we are cutting forest? Only reason, that is the only reason, that is increased population. So as the population it is increasing and increasing, the needs of population is also increased. Needs of population means, first thing it comes your food, shelter, and even establishment of factories, industries. Yes, like that, so many different needs of population is there. Such a needs of population is also increased. So slowly we are cutting down the forest. So now if we are cutting down the forest, what are the different consequences? Means the bad effects that we are going to face. And the first bad effect that we are going to face, that is your global warming. Because as I said, forest regulates the temperature on the earth. But such a forest, if it is not there, the levels of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide and other pollutant gases will increase and leads to high temperatures on the earth. That is called your global warming. That is because of the pollution that is released from the different regions of the earth. And if the same one, deforestation, is there, in a long run we are going to face a problem that is called as drought problem, where complete water, nil water or nil rainfall for so many years it will be seen, and the soil totally loses its texture, its profile, and becomes crackled. In fact, it will become as an unfit for agriculture purpose because it's not having any water in it. Such a waterless condition for so many years, it is called as dwarf here. Dwarf. Yes. So if there is a deforestation, we are going to face with a dwarf condition, which slowly leads to desertification, where plants will never grow. Yes. And even the plants and animals which are present in that area are very badly affected, because food not there, water is not there, how the plants and animals can live? So the plants and animals present in that area are very badly affected, and humans are going to face shortage of food. If plants are not growing, will we get enough food? Definitely not. So we are going to face with the shortage of food material. And even during the cyclones, it leads to floods. There we will see a lot of economy and a life loss. So these are the major consequences that we are going to face when there is a shortage of forest, or when you are for doing deforestation. So now the main concept is how to protect the forest. So only one method to protect the forest, that is afforestation. The only method that is in front of us is afforestation, that is planting more and more number of trees and taking care of that one plants. That is your afforestation. Along with the afforestation, some other things also should be followed. That is habitat reservation. We should protect the habitat for wildlife. For suppose suddenly you will notice forest fires. So if there is a forest fire and within a hours if we won't stop it, it leads to a loss of number of insects that are growing on the plants, birds that are growing in that area, and all the wildlife, it will get frightened and it will try to run away because of that overgrazing of animals we will see in one area. So to avoid all those conditions, the only main concept that is there in front of us is afforestation. Grow plants as much as possible. Yes, along with that, some other methods will also be followed to protect the wildlife or to conserve the wildlife. First one is habitat preservation. That may be any type of habitat, either a terrestrial, aquatic, aerial, any type of habitat it is. Habitat preservation means keeping the habitat in its natural condition is one of the most important tasks. If for the animal, if the habitat is in its natural condition, it can lead a happy and a free survival. After this habitat preservation, now the second one is hunting regulations. Because so many members are there, they will not follow the hunting rules that were given by the government. They will always and always try to cross the rules and they will try to hunt the animals, because animal skin, their bones and other things, they are having a very good income in the other areas, because they are making a lot of things with those animal products. So to get a very good income in the prohibited zones, animals are hunted very badly. So government have to follow a very strict hunting regulations. If government is not following a strict hunting regulations, the wildlife will enter into an endangered condition. Means within few years, wildlife completely vanished out from the earth. So hunting regulations must be followed properly, and even we should start biosphere reserves, that is your national parks, bird sanctuaries, is some other projects which can preserve the biotic factors in that area. Such a biosphere reserves must be established and the wildlife should be taken care in these biospheres. So in our next class, we are going to learn about what are the different biosphere reserves that are present in our India, and what are the different types of animals that are grown in the wildlife sanctuaries, national parks, and what is meant by endemic and endangered species, and we even will learn about red data book. Okay children, after listening this video, you people please open your textbook and start reading lesson. Okay, thank you so much.